Hey there everyone, Sunny here and welcome to the replays for interesting duels I have in April with my SPYRALs. And as you can see, the video is going to be out really early, and that's because I into two segments. The first segment being before Tearlaments hit Master Duel, and the second part hopefully once Tearlaments hit Master Duel. If assuming I'm not in Diamond 1 by the time the Tearlaments hit Master Duel. So right now I'm still using the same deck that I've been using in the Duelist Cup, which is the 40 deck SPYRAL with Triple Tactics Talent Droplet in the main deck. Ishizu branded. Going into Drago's Stabilia and also Mirror Jade, which is very interesting, but that is fine by me because I do have my Triple Tactics Talent and so it's what break. I use Illusion of Chaos first to put my master plan back into the deck and also to scout any possible hand traps. So of course using Souls and Big Red, I get master plan, and of course Mirror Jade triggers and both of them. And he does reveal the Herald of Orange Light, but that's fine because I could still use the Graveyard effect, which is much more beneficial. Then with Spy Resort, I get Sleeper and then I get Soul Agent. And top monster, it is wrong, but that's fine. I still get to draw a card. I use Triple Tactics Talent and get the Drago's Stabilia onto the field. I have not used my normal summon, hence I normal summon Super Agent and use the Graveyard effect of Quick Fix to bring it up. And with a bunch of spells on both sides of the graveyard, I am able to get Master Plan back. And with Master Plan and Quick Fix, we go into the double Helix. And this time, we call correctly being spells and get our second Quick Fix from the deck. And my opponent just corrected that before I go into the kill. So that's just the first game. It's just pretty simple board breaking, nothing much, nothing's too fancy. It's just how when you use your Droplet that's important. Let's just go on to the next duel. For this second duel when I'm still in Platinum, we are also facing another branded player. So again, you know, branded fusion, Rebellion, stuff. I think Eluber, going to Mirror Jade, and this time with Eluber getting the Despia Theater and using the Despia Theater to fuse into getting the Masquerade, the Blazing Dragon. So one back row and one Hex Dragon and one Mirror Jade, and I have to break this board. So I start with Illusion of Chaos to get Magician Souls, and then I use Magician Souls effect to dump Master Plan into the graveyard. And I use 1/1 to dump my Quick Fix into the graveyard to get a second Quick Fix. And of course, I try to get the Big Red, but impermanence triggers, that is fine. Now I send both Mission Assault and the Preparation of Rites into the graveyard, while my opponent decided to banish my Quick Fix. So of course I Droplet the Masquerade, the Blazing Dragon, so now I'm not getting taxed anymore. Use the Mission Assault to go into special summon the Master Plan I have in hand, and of course destroy the Mirror Jade with Knightmare Cerebus while triggering Master Plan's Graveyard effect. Of course now I have to be wary of Mirror Jade's Graveyard effect to destroy everything on my field, so I'm gonna try to beat on this turn. But as you can see later on, it might be a bit tricky. I go into Celine to get Master Plan back to get another mission card. Go into Spy Resort to go into to get into my Sleeper later. But I made the very costly mistake of not destroying the Despian Theater. I'm not sure why did I not do that, because I must be worrying something from the graveyard, but you know, that was unwarranted because that will come to bite me later. Of course, I use my normal summon to get the duels. Manipulate the top deck. Get Quick Fix out to get the Last Resort. Go into Ghost Trick to Lahan. Go into Double Helix. This time with double helix, I'm gonna call monster to get the sleep round. Banish Mission Rescue to go into Master Plan and go into Knightmare Unicorn to spin the Blazing Dragon away. But the Despian Comedy effect triggers and I terrorize that. Then of course, Masquerade the Blazing Dragon triggers itself to special summon a Spright to the field, and I'm gonna pop both monsters, thinking I'm on the clear, but of course the Despian Theater takes effect, summoning both Aluber. Aluber's effect summon itself and Mirrorjet summon itself as well, so now I have to deal with another Mirrorjet in the field, and Mirrorjet decides to banish my access code. So now I'm in a very tricky situation where I still can't go for game just yet. So now I special summon Super Agent and did what I should have done earlier and destroy the field spell and destroy Aluber. I am not able to attack the Mirrorjet due to my attack not being high enough, but of course he used his banish effect on the previous turn, on my current turn, so on the next turn there is no banish effect. Not only that, he can only control one Mirrorjet, the Ice Blade Dragon, so even if he draws Branded Fusion, he cannot use the Branded Fusion onto to fusion summon another Mirrorjet. Of course, Mirrorjet effect triggers just now and my Unicorn and Super Agent goes back into the graveyard. I shuffle Master Plan and back to the deck and it's back to my opponent's turn, and he is of course going to open with Branded Fusion to get Rebellion. Even if I have Rebellion. Realizing he can't go into Mirrorjet, he go into Despian Quartes to drop my attack to 0. But I use Steeper's effect to pop both Mirrorjet and the Quartes. And of course, Dramaturge of Despia comes up, but I survive thanks to Last Resort. And he brings out the Theater of Despia, and he's gonna bring out another Tax Dragon. In hindsight, I could think that's the best idea because at this point I could go for a game with the cost with a low cost of less than 600 life points, I think. But anyways, he's just getting 2 more monsters onto the field, while my attack of Sleeper goes back to 2800 and I draw triple Tactics Talent. So I go into battle and destroy the Blazing Dragon. Upon its destruction, I pop both the field spell and the Dramaturge, and his board is empty once more. Nothing simple, and he just used Maxx Cs just to show that he has lost, I guess. So yeah, a pretty intense game, and I almost lost the game due to a mistake earlier with the Super Agent. But yeah, so I shouldn't have. I should just destroy it, right? Anyways, let's just go to the next game. Our next duel involves against Exosisters, a deck that you will see quite a fair bit when you're climbing to Diamond. So I opened with Preparation of Rites, and then there was a Dimension Shifter. Initially, I thought that this person may be playing Floowandereeze. But again, with Dimension Shifter activated, I can't really do much, so I just use Terraforming and get my Spiral Resort and just end my turn. But as I'll find out, my opponent is playing Exosisters, and I thought that's fine because regardless of whether they are playing Exosisters or Floowandereeze, they should not be able to go for game. They do not have the raw firepower, I think, to go for one turn kill on me. Of course, Alice comes out, and of course the other SPYRAL came out. Then they both become Magnifica and they swing me for 5600. But I live, of course. So now it's my turn and I have to try and break this board. Relatively simple board. So I open with Magician Souls. Nothing. I mean, of course, they banish my Master Plan. So I'm going to Michaelis. So I have to quickly discard the Mission Assault. And they Ash Blossom me while I try to call by the Ash Blossom. And the opponent, being really smart, banishes the Mission Assault instead. Very clever on their part. So I can't really special summon Master Plan from my hand, which sucks. but I do draw my cross-up detonator, which is actually not that useful in this situation. And again, so I of course use Resort to get quick fix to get break rate. Use the 2 to link summon Cerebus and destroy the Exosystem Michaelis. Use Big Red to get Master Plan onto the field, and now we are off to the races as we link summon into Celine. And at this point, I do not really have anything they could do against my current board, so this is probably the time where they're about to scoop. Yep. So yeah, a bit tricky, but we managed to somehow break the opponent's board. Let's just go on to the next two. Up next, we are going second against Live Twin Sprites. Oh, the joy. So, Spright is something that you will definitely see a lot in the higher ranks. I don't think Sprites will go away despite Tearlaments coming, but we will see about that. So, of course, this is your typical Sprite Twins combo with Skill, Lila, Red, Carrot, IP. Not wait, I don't think this one has IP. I think it's just Kiseki and Lila as their form of disruptions, and of course 2 back rows. So I'm gonna try to break the board. The opponent tries to Maxx C me, so I try to Ash the Maxx C. Of course, they have a call by, because of course they do. So now I have to break the board with the Maxx C challenge in place. So I go for 1 to send my Master Plan into the graveyard. I bring up Quick Fix. I use Quick Fix to draw something. Of course, my opponent has Impermanence because why not? But that's fine because I already have the Big Red in hand. So I use a special summon effect of Magician Souls to discard the Mission Assault, and I tried to bait my opponent with Preparation of Rites, which the bait succeeded. That's why they dump Lila into the graveyard. So yeah, that's cool. So now I use Big Red to special summon Master Plan onto the field, and this is when they try to use Kiseki's effect to bring back Lila. And with Lila's effect, they try to destroy my Master Plan. Fantastic, because now I activate Master Plan's graveyard effect to get Sleeper and a Spiral Resort onto my hand. Of course, I activate Spiral Resort, and I'm gonna use it to get the drones so I could see what my opponent's playing as I go into Double Helix right about now. Because at this point of time, the Lila has used his effect, the Elf has used his effect, the Carrot has also used his effect, so any form of disruption I have will be coming from the hand. So I am also, of course, called correctly. And I'm going to use the Quick Fix Graveyard effect to special summon itself out and get the last resort. So now I have a lot of monsters to destroy, and with the amount of link monsters I have in the graveyard, I am likely to destroy a lot of them with access code Talker, so I have to get a bit creative. Of course, using a link climbing with Celine and getting more Pyro mission cards, I go into Apr'23 in case of a because I do not have anything in hand that could deal with the Nibiru. I drop the attack of Elf, it doesn't really matter. Banish the 1 mission rescue to get Double Helix out, and of course again use it for a Quick Fix. He tries to Ash me, but he did not realize he called by my Ash previously, so that Ash did not resolve. I was just getting the Big Red, but it doesn't really matter at this point. So now I go into SPYRAL Master Plan to get my last mission rescue, and link these 2 off to Knightmare Phoenix, while I link those 2 off to get Tri-Gate Wizard. Tri-Gate Wizard using effect to banish 1 card. Then I summon Sleeper. He tries to bring back the Kiseki, the live twin Kiseki, extra body on the board, but that's fine. I use Quick Sleeper to pop 2 cards, so there's 4 more cards left to pop. And I bring out my Double Helix one more time. And this time, I go into access code. So with access code, I have Celine, Tri-Gate Wizard, and also my Phoenix. and that's just nice. The reason why I do not want to pop the Lila is because as I pop the Lila, my opponent may play infinite impermanence in their hand if they have any. So of course the Nibiru is going to try going to battle phase, right? And of course that is going to fail. So very important, access code swing into Lila and then swing with the rest. That's how we go for game. So yeah, let's just move on to the next one because we have plenty of those left and I hope that I don't go too long. So it's hard to believe, but of course SPYRALs have a weakness in freaking, and sometimes you get ridiculous hands like this where I have 2 core buys, I have a mission rescue, so of course I'm going to do this and just set some cards. I use my Maxx C, which managed to resolve without any Ash Blossom or core buy from my opponent's side. So they are still going to go into their combo, of course just going into a simple Baron de Fleur and then destroying one of my back row. Of course they destroy my core buy and that's fine because I have a second core buy, right? So now it's back to me. They set 1 back row before they pass it back to me and I drew into my Illusion of Chaos. So I'm gonna, of course, I first start with the runes because the Omni Negate of Baron de Fleur hasn't been used yet. So it changed Maxx C. So I tried to core buy and Baron de Fleur negates the core buy. So now I'm playing under the Maxx C challenge. But comparative to the previous board, this is not too bad, and in addition to that, they use the Descendant of Thunder, so their life point is pretty little. But still, we still have to be wary regardless. Using Illusion of Chaos to get Magician Souls to get Master Plan onto the graveyard, and they destroy the Magician Souls. Of course, I still have my big red on the side of the field, so I get my Master Plan out, and they destroy the Master Plan. But that's fine, we're gonna get my Mission Assault, and with the Graveyard effect, we're gonna get Super Agent and the Spy Resort. Remembering what card I had? No, actually I don't remember. It was a trap, so yeah, I couldn't summon out Super Agent through the special summon method, but that is totally fine because we banish 3 cards to bring out the Sleeper, and then of course we destroy the Mission Assault to bring out Super Agent, and that is just enough for game. I was actually thinking to destroy the Assault or the Mission Rescue, but because I needed to banish 3 cards to bring the Sleeper out, so I ended up destroying the Mission Assault to bring out Super Agent for the kill. So yeah, it's a bit tricky, but somehow we managed to win in that turn, so let's just move to the next turn. So this is the duel number 6 and Runick stun, of course, right? But that is fine. We have Droplet in hand, so we just have to use Forbidden Droplet to negate the effect of Inspector Border. So now that its effect is negated, we can play our cards. Of course, the opponent has a Maxx C, but we do have our Ash Blossom to negate the Maxx C. And with the Spiral Resort, of course, it's gonna get destroyed. This is Runick we're talking about. And then with Spiral Gear Jones, we know the top of the opponent's deck. Sort of. Do keep in mind, because I actually manipulate the top of their deck, and due to the effect of Runick Fountain, they actually the cards are placed onto the bottom of the deck and they draw the same amount. So technically whatever they drew, I know what they have. So I could prepare for it. But of course, this being a replay, I can't exactly remember what I drew for them. But the fact that they drew 2 cards means I could remember the 3rd card being a trap, and I was able to act accordingly. And they scoop from there as their Runick Fountain goes down. So yeah, this was a quick one. But you do keep in mind what the text does, so that we know how to work accordingly. So now we go into duel number 7. Duel number 7, we are against an aptly named guy whose name is Mako, and he is playing Umi Control. Looking at my hand, as you can see, it is pretty awful. I can't do much with my current hand, so I'm just gonna do this and end my turn with Spiral Gear Last Resort on my hand. So my opponent's just gonna use Power of Prosperity, which I'm gonna use my Power of Extravagance, which I'm gonna Ash. But they are still able to search for a Legendary Ocean, which they're gonna use later. And of course, Kaioshin comes out. And I decided to send Quick Fix into the graveyard because Link Kuriboh has a little bit more benefits when it's on the field. So I thought to myself, I need to remove the Link Kuriboh, because the Link Kuriboh is giving me problems, and of course I draw into my third Ash Blossom. So my opponent using Ice Barrier is just gonna destroy my Link Kuriboh, and of course I'm gonna Ash that, and I have my third Ash remaining. So he's gonna use another Extravagance, and I'm just gonna Ash that one more time. Yeah, he might be really frustrated seeing how I got 3 Ashes in the hand. But then he brings up Electric Jellyfish, and this is the opportunity that I have to beat him. All I need to do is to try to trigger the effect of Electric Jellyfish, and I'm good to go. So then I was hoping that I draw into like a monster that could trigger Electric Jellyfish effect. But I drew Forbidden Droplet, so I didn't know what to do. First I tried to like Droplet the Kaioshin to remove its Floodgate effect. Banish 3 cards to get the Steeper out. I decided to pop both of the back row. Of course, it uses C Stealth Attack to dodge the destruction of Kaioshin, I guess. I'm not sure. He's just gonna special summon the Doom Kraken out. So of course, my Steepers, if I activate from the graveyard, it does not really matter because there's nothing on my side of the field, so I'm not able to special summon any Spiral Super Agent regardless. But the Electric Jellyfish did respond to it, which is great because now he has no effects anymore. I could negate my Triple Tactics talent, so I can use it to draw 2 cards. And what do you know? It's a Magician's Soul. So now we can go into our typical Spiral combo and win from there. Yeah, and we get the drones. We change the order. Graveyard effect. Call monster, which is the correct call. Go into Celine. Get Master Plan back. Get another Mission Rescue. Call monsters, which is correct. I can't destroy any of the back row, that's why I didn't opt to destroy any of the back row. We go into access code, and we try to destroy both the Doom Kraken and the Electric Jellyfish. So at this point I thought I have game sealed, but of course my opponent has C Stealth 2 up his sleeves, so to summon Doom Kraken and negate my Super Agent's attack. So now I couldn't go for game just yet, and of course I did dump a bunch of Mission Rescues previously, so that allows me to bring up Master Plan and Double Helix, and that's just enough to go for game. So yeah, Battle Tricks in 2023, man. It nearly saved him, but thankfully I do have backup. Let's just go into the next duel. This replay is a duel against Exosisters where I'm going first. It's a bit of an interesting one because of what you can do with certain things in that you have. Of course, when I do not have any clues of what my opponent's playing, the best play is to call for monsters, which is why I was able to special summon Super Agent out. So, and then I'm trying to go into a Link 2 or something. That's why I normal summon Ash. Of course, my opponent, seeing that I normal summon Ash, I overcommit, they try to Maxx Cs me. Unfortunately, I do have my second Ash Blossom on my hand, so I negate that. So now, this is another interesting tactic about this deck I'm playing. This deck is actually running this card, Aussa the Earth Charmer. So with Aussa the Earth Charmer, I'm going to bring the Maxx C onto the field, and then I'm going to use Big Red to get my Super Agent back. And what do you know? We have 3 Earth monsters of different types, which means we can go into Curious the Light Swan Monarch. Sorry, the Light Swan Dominion, sorry. And we're gonna dump a Mission Rescue into the graveyard to extend our plays. And with the Mission Rescue that's being dumped, that triggered Curious effect to dump 3 more cards. As you can see, we do have a quick fix in. So now we can banish one of the Mission Rescues and bring out Super Agent and go into a better combo. Of course, my opponent's saying that they scoop. So yeah, this is a little bit of an interesting tech where you can use Aussa the Earth Charmer to do just that in the Spiral deck, since we are all mostly Earth attribute monsters. So let's just go to the next one. So I'm going first. I'm going first. I'm gonna send my Illusion of Chaos into the graveyard to get Quick Fix. And Quick Fix effect was negated by Infinite Impermanence, which is really bad because, as you can see, I do not have anything here that could bring the Master Plan out. So I'm just gonna, of course, dump a Master Plan in, and normal summon my Spiral Master Plan to get a Mission Rescue and set the Mission Rescue. And that was my turn. And my opponent's turn, I'm gonna find out that they are gonna be playing Mathmech. So I use my Mission Rescue to try and get my Quick Fix back, but they use Ghost Spell. Of course, this is bad for them because now my Mission Rescue is in the graveyard, which I can use the graveyard effect for later. So my opponent's just going to go into their Mathmech combo. I'm just going to Ash that because I do not want to get Mathmech Super Factorial on my turn later. So they're just going to go into their typical Mathmech combo. Get Mathmech Diameter, normal summon Mathmech Diameter, go into Splash Mage. I think later they're going to Transcode Talker. Yeah, Transcode Talker. Yeah. And bring back Splash Mage. And I was expecting them to go into Access Code, but they went to Decode Talker Hitso instead. So of course they're going to attack my Master Plan, and my Master Plan is going to trigger its Graveyard effect to get my Super Agent and a Spy Resort. And they are surprisingly not going to swing me. And oddly enough, they are playing Small World just to get a Herald of Orange Light. So knowing that in hand, I'm going to try to bait him. So of course not going to bait him during his turn. That's why I'm just... and also try not to trigger any Maxx C prematurely on my turn, hence I banish it on the end of his turn to get my Master Plan back out. So it's my turn, I got Illusion of Chaos, he draws a card, that's fine. I tried to activate the effect of Master Plan, and then that's where he got baited and used his Orange Light. Send to graveyard, that's fine. Trigger the graveyard effect, get steeper, get another Spy Resort, that's amazing. So use the Spy Resort to get Spiral Gear Duels, yeah, that's correct. Then typical Spiral line. Going to Double Helix. Now this is I think this is when my opponent, or maybe his lack of experience in Spirals, he tries to banish the Keldo to shuffle the 3 Spirals back into the deck, but it's actually totally fine because my effect doesn't target. So I'm just gonna get the Master Plan back onto the field. Like whether he's in the graveyard or not, I think that's fine. Yeah, I do think it's the lack of knowledge of Spirals, but yeah. So using Illusion of Chaos to get Magician Soul, and later I was just gonna send the Resort and the Mission Rescue into my combo, but he scooped from here, so that's amazing. So yeah, matchup knowledge is also pretty important. Of course, can't really blame your opponent sometimes when they have a lack of experience against a very, I wouldn't say obscure, but rarely seen deck. So let's go into duel number 10. Duel number 10, we are against Exosisters. I tried to Magician Souls, and I think my opponent Maxx Cs. Yep. So that's where my combo ends. But of course, I'm just gonna send those missions to the graveyard to get 2 cards, and I'm gonna use my drones to manipulate the top of their deck. But if you were to ask me right now what they drew, I can't remember. So I tried to Maxx C them on draw phase, and it resolves, so they can't do their full Exosisters combo, that is for sure. Unfortunately, they do have this card in their hand, Exosisters packs, so they're gonna get Martha and Alice, and of course going to Sophia, and I think that's the extent of their combo. They're going to go into battle phase and destroy my 2 monsters and attack directly for 1600 with Martha. They set 2, and on my end phase, not to trigger Call by the Grave if any on my turn, I banish my Mission Rescue to get Master Plan up onto the field. And they Maxx Cs me curiously to... I don't know why they Maxx C me, because it's an end phase, you know. The one card they drew doesn't really matter, to be honest. If I'm able to beat them this turn, of course. But of course, I found out that he has a 3rd Maxx C, so he has 3 Maxx Cs, but I do Ash this one, so that's all good. So now I'm going to go into preparation of rights to... Not before using the Mission Rescue. Yeah. Sorry, I mean getting the Mission Rescue. I use preparation of rights to get Illusion of Chaos, and Illusion of Chaos to get Magician Soul, and I send the Master Plan back into the deck. The usual Spiral stuff. Special Summon. Dump the Mission Rescue. Get Quick Fix. Quick Fix, get the card. Go into Double Helix. With effect triggers. Play Spiral Resort. Get Last Resort. Then I special summon the drones, and that's when a bunch of things happen. So this thing happens, so more Exosisters cards come out. And as I activate the effect of Spiral Gear drones, all these happen. I'm not gonna like go into detail what happens, but basically all the Exosister Xyz monster comes out. And now, if you're looking at the logs, I am not able to special summon from the graveyard, which means I can't do my Mission Rescue shenanigans. Yeah, it kinda sucks, but I guess I play into their trap. And of course, Magnifica comes out. And they place the Magnifica here, which is a grave mistake. And you'll see why, because I was trying to figure out how to deal with this hand. Of course, they're gonna negate my effect. I know that they have a spell card on the top of their deck, so yeah, it's negated, but that's fine. So I use my Super Agent to call spells to bring this card up, and I thought of the right call. Knightmare Gryphon. So you see, Knightmare Gryphon has the effect where special summon monsters on the field can activate the effects unless they're linked. And of course, Exosisters doesn't play any linked monsters. So, and since Magnifica just so happened was summoned here instead of here, right above Gryphon, it can't activate its effect. Neither can any of the Exosisters cards. So, with that, I special summon Sleeper under Gryphon, activate the Last Resort, destroy 2 of the defense position monsters, and I swing. Of course, I'm not able to swing for game here, but that's fine. I totally dismantle their board, and that's amazing. So now it's back to my opponent's turn, and they try to activate Martha. I pop both of them, and that's all. So yeah, Knightmare Gryphon is attack of the duel to defeat the Exosisters. So do keep in mind when you're not playing a linked deck, Gryphon can come in clutch. Now let's go into the final duel, and this is a doozy. This duel just happened a few hours ago, and I had a very bad streak of going second in Diamond 3. And of course, I have to be going second against Spright, right? Because why not, right? And as you can see, I don't have anything that could disrupt their plays. So I'm just gonna go into my, I'm just gonna let them play their Spright combos. Get Ronan Toden, get IP. And that's their end board. Now we have to break that, alright? So as you can see, I only have triple tactics talent, which will come in clutch later. I use 1 for 1 to send the Illusion of Chaos into the grave. Yeah, of course we are playing against the Maxx C challenge this time, against a Spright, just like the earlier duels. So we bring up Quick Fix, activate Quick Fix effect, and the IP decides to trigger its effect early and go into Knightmare Unicorn to spin my Quick Fix back into the deck. Not before Quick Fix get the last resort. So it discards the evenly match, whatever. So now I activate Magician Souls, summon Souls out, and then that's when they decide to summon Chaos Hunter. So Chaos Hunter, if you've seen replays of me, of my earlier duels back when Runick came out, was a tech card I used against Runick where my opponent can't banish cards. So of course I can't use my mission rescues and all that, right? But then I realized that there is something I can do with this Chaos Hunter, which you're gonna see later. I use triple tactics talent to take control of one of my opponent's monster. They let it resolve, which is funny because now I'm taking control of Chaos Hunter, which means if he's having a Spright Smashes or Call by the Grave, he is not able to use it against me at all. So that locks his back. So now I use Quick Fix. He tries to negate the Quick Fix, whatever, sent to the graveyard, that's fine. That's fine, you know. So now the only thing I fear is a Nibiru. Of course, I don't fear the Nibiru now that I've crossed out Designator. I am playing I modified the same deck I had used in Duelist Cup to include Nibiru in my deck. So now that I've crossed out, I know that I'm safe from Nibiru. One of the back rows, as you can see just now, and it was a Spright Smashes. That's the amazing part, because now I have Chaos Hunter, they can't use the Spright Smashes against me, they can't use the crossout against me as well. They tried to Ash my Master Pen, yeah, whatever, that's fine. I go into Celine. Of course, I saw they have a Veiler, so they're gonna Veiler me. Yeah, sure. Okay. So now I'm stuck in a very, very particular situation. I need to beat him. I do not think that I have the firepower to bring up my full board and beating him at the same time. Of course, they are playing Sprites like core monsters, and that was the right call. I go into my Master Pen to get the Mission Rescue, and this time, with no back row left, I go into Knightmare Cerebrus and link off the Chaos Hunter. I use Knightmare Cerebrus to destroy one of the Spright cards and I draw a card. I drew onto my own Ash, which I wish it came earlier, but it is what it is. Draw onto my Mission Rescue. So now I had a win con. My win con was simple. First, try to remove as many of his cards remaining. Knightmare Unicorn can stay because I do not want to trigger an infinite impermanence, if any. So I go into access code on top, and then it gets an attack boost. Then on the bottom, I go into Tri-Gate Wizard. You must be wondering why Tri-Gate Wizard, and that's because of Tri-Gate Wizard's first effect. If a monster coding to this card battles an opponent's monster, the battle damage is doubled. So the idea here is to swing access code onto Knightmare Unicorn to get the double battle damage. 6200. Let's game. So yeah, although most cards in a Spiral deck are used for primarily certain effects, do keep in mind there are other not so commonly used effects that may come up from time to time that could allow you to win your games. And these are one of the examples that I can share. And that is the end of the replays. I hope you guys enjoy the replays, and I hope that I can go into Diamond 1 before Tearlaments come out. And if I don't, expect another video like this in the end of the month. Take care.